for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democratic. That matters.
Oh, it's huge. No, that's huge. I always say, it'll be exciting to see, on the, Elon Musk going against Mark Cuban for the presidency in 24.
Right.
But you have these kind of new voices. Not that he's going to run, of course, but new voices, consequential, influential voices. They don't make the absolute difference, but at the end of the day, they do move the dial, and you got to respect that. And that whether having social media platforms or just having a national voice, a more independent looking voice, that's something that people will pay attention to.
So I give you a lot of credit. Before the primary, you know that you and Don Bolduc clashed a little bit. You were for a different candidate, and he said, well, you've just been bought and sold by China, and you laughed, and he won the nomination, and you said, I'm in. It's okay. I want a Republican. And right now, to the surprise of everyone, because Donald Trump didn't endorse till last Monday, and Mitch McConnell never really, he pulled back any money. Guy had only $300,000. He is within 1 point by almost all polls. Here's what Maggie Hassan said about why it's so close. Cut 21.
You have to always make your case to voters every election, and that's what I'm out doing, contrasting my record of bipartisan achievement for the people of New Hampshire on the issues that they care about with my opponent's extremism. As you heard me talk about today, somebody who would eliminate Social Security and jack people's costs up, who would give big tax breaks to big oil and big pharma, jacking people's costs up.
So I get it. It's like a cartoon at this point. But is any of that true?
Well, no. If it were resonating with anybody, then she'd be running away with this as an incumbent who spent 10 times as much money as the person she's running against. Look, Senator Hassan just hasn't shown up. She hasn't done her job. We believe in accountability. She's going to get fired. It really comes down to that. And she's going to get fired against a guy who didn't bow down just to Mitch McConnell and Republicans and the money. He said, I don't care about your money. I just care about New Hampshire. And that is amazingly refreshing for the people of the state. And so she hasn't gone anywhere. He keeps creeping up in the polls because it's about, he's getting known. There's a big undecided vote there, and they just don't know him. So the more they know him, the more they realize he's not as crazy radical as the Democrats make him out to be. And sure, Dawn and I went back and forth viciously a little bit with some of our words in the primary. That's okay. At the end of the day, you just want someone that's actually going to put New Hampshire first and do the job. This guy's done 80 town halls. Hassan, 0. Literally 0 in a state where retail politics is everything. And the voters are like, nah, thanks, but you're done. And so we're going to move on. I think it's going to be a close race. But I think Bolduc pulls it out by probably about 12 to 1,500 votes. It'll be a late decided race as well. Some of our more conservative towns, the bigger conservative towns that come in late, like Salem and Derry, they probably won't come in until about 2 a.m. So it'll be a nail-biter all the way to the end. But at the end of the day, I really think people in New Hampshire are just tired of paying through the nose for bad policy.
When do you guys count your absentee votes or the early votes? Do you count it before Election Day?
No, we count them on Election Day. They cannot be opened until a certain time during Election Day. They're all counted on Election Day there. We have a rule that if you work the polls, you cannot go home until your town has the vote counted. So we get a winner in each town every night. Some of our bigger towns that might have maybe 10 different polling locations have to compile. They're not cities, they're towns. So they compile their votes. That's why they take a little longer. They tend to be a little bigger, a little more conservative. And so that's why it could go to 1 or 2 in the morning. But we'll have a winner by sometime, late into Wednesday morning. We'll have a winner.
So when you do these tours, like you've been doing, you've been spreading yourself around over the last 2 weeks to talk about Don Bolduc, or also talk about the Republican Party. I was just fascinated by the fact that some of the questions cut you totally by surprise. And one of which was on Meet the Press. In fact, I really deserve so much credit because I watch all the Sunday shows because I'm lonely and I don't have many friends. And I watched you on it. And as soon as you got this question, your response was classic because you were befuddled by the question when you talk about election denier and basically saying we have crime, we have inflation, we have energy costs, and here's was your response.
Why are you supporting an election denialist? And do you think the inflation issue is enough to sort of rationalize support for somebody who thinks school buses of voters are going to show up in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, you're in a bubble, man. I love you, Chuck, but you are in a bubble if you think anybody is talking about what happened in 2020.
Because he is in a bubble. That's all they focus on. I played that on Fox and Friends, and they played it all day. Were you surprised at how much play that got?
I was, but that's the way, as you said, they talk in an echo chamber,
It's
right? And
unbelievable.
when the liberal media talks in this echo chamber, they're like, oh yeah, that's what everyone's talking about. But none of them are going door to door like I do, or like real candidates do. And if you just did that for 10 minutes, you'd realize, oh, wait a minute, this isn't an issue. Politicians, the key to be a good politician and a good leader is not talking about the policies that matter to you. It's about listening to the policies that matter to the constituents, connecting with them on an empathetic level. The national media typically just doesn't do that.
Gotcha.
And on some level, the conservative national media has an issue with that too. Not Brian Kilmeade, though.
Thank you,
Brian Kilmeade has
Governor.
walked the streets of New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
You and I have walked those
Yes.
streets.
And
and I've seen you engage with folks, and I actually mean that quite sincerely. I think you're a little bit different there.
Thanks,
So,
Governor. Governor, thanks so much.
Every year, we say we'll wake up earlier, exercise more, really rest, and eat healthier. It's hard for us, but for dogs, not so much. Dogs are up at dawn, run for fun, sleep like champs, and they love eating fresh, healthy food every single meal. Give your dog another healthy habit. Real fresh food from the Farmer's Dog. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Do you experience pain, burning, numbness, or tingling in your hands, legs, or feet? Are you worried your balance may lead to a seriously damaging fall? Danville Neuropathy Center has a proven, exciting treatment for peripheral neuropathy that repairs and regrows damaged nerves. It's FDA cleared, and because of its success, Medicare and most major insurances cover the treatment. Don't risk your health any longer. Call 925-270-1460 to schedule an appointment or visit DanvilleNeuropathyCenter.com. That's 925-270-1460. We are a COVID-compliant facility.
Hey, Santa Clara County sports fans. The new Omicron booster is here and available for everyone 12 and older. Remember that kids can get really sick with COVID and the effects can be serious and long-term. You can't be at the top of your game when you're super fatigued. So keep your athletes safe this fall and winter with this important booster. And of course, wear a high-quality mask whenever you're inside with lots of people. Visit sccfreevax.org or call 211 to make your booster appointment. Stay healthy and stay in the game.
Mom, what does better for you food mean?
Something that takes a while to make.
Not with Knorr's pasta and rice sides. They're made with no artificial flavors or preservatives and can be combined with protein and vegetables, so you don't need to spend hours in the kitchen making nutritious meals.
Mom, what does relieves mean?
It means feeling good, because thanks to Knorr, I now have more time to help you with homework.
A+. Knorr. Taste for good.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Mom, what does better for you food mean?
Something that takes a while to make.
Not with Knorr's pasta and rice sides. They're made with no artificial flavors or preservatives and can be combined with protein and vegetables, so you don't need to spend hours in the kitchen making nutritious meals.
Mom, what does relieves mean?
It means feeling good, because thanks to Knorr, I now have more time to help you with homework.
A+. Knorr. Taste for good.
Everyone, Al Rucker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But I'm filling it because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or weak conditions out there, you've got to be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues